Have you ever had anything go viral? I never have until last week. The same meme that I've been posting year after year since maybe 2012, over 10 years ago. It was over at Instagram. It was over at Facebook. It's been on Pinterest. But this year, Facebook decided to send it out to the masses, expand the reach. So I wrote a blog post to explain it, and I talked to my membership group, and that's what this clip on this video is about. I shared what was going on as it was just starting. I think they're now saying that 4 million people have seen this particular meme, and it wasn't quite the wonderful experience that I thought going viral would be. Let me share with you this clip from my membership group from last week, where I was talking with them a little bit about the meme, about being able to voice how you really feel, about pressure from society, about a little bit of bullying on the internet. So here we go. And stay to the end of the clip because I have a couple minutes worth of more memes for you. So if you didn't get enough of the memes that are happening over at the Facebook page, here you go. My gift to you. Remember too that in 2 days on Thursday, we have a webinar for Not Back to School. And I have a playlist for other videos that I've recorded to help people ease into this back to school season. All right, on to the clip. It's about unschooling mom to mom. One of the things about being this online presence is that I share these memes. And the month of August, we share memes that are all about not going back to school. And some of the memes are snarky. Some of the memes are anti-school. Some of the memes are thoughtful. They're just a variety. And every year, I get people who write really angrily about, why are you being so mean? Why can't you, I used to follow you and now you're so divisive and you're so this and you're so that, because of that. And so I want to explain what my thought processes are. And of course, I'm open to yours if you're like, oh. So for years, when my kids were younger, and I had nieces and nephews, well, I only have nephews. I had nephews who were going to school. And I didn't share stuff like that on my public pages. I didn't say, some of those memes that you've probably seen. But when I had the Unschooling Mom2Mom page, I did. Because they weren't following that. They didn't need to see Aunt Sue saying that. But they could, And so I felt like this is a place, because I had many people say, it's so nice to read this. I could never post that on my own page. But I feel this way about school, like specifically the one that gets to most people. And it did this week, that picture of the bringing in the little log to a classroom of all neatly cut out wooden shapes with the teachers and axe. And, it's, it's a meme. People are like, why? Teachers are, first of all, I agree. Teachers do the best they can. Teachers have had a whole lot of pressure. They don't make a lot of money, all the things. I'm not anti-teacher. I'm anti the school system hiding behind the teacher. The school system with their agenda. But would you say that to this really great teacher? No, I wouldn't, but I'd say it to the school system hiding behind it. So there's that. There's also, so I want to be a lane that people can come to and know what they're going to get. You're not going to hear, I was going to say, you're not going to hear pro-schooling. Probably you're not. You might hear how my family used school from time to time. You might hear how every family is different. But if you're looking for reasons why unschoolers choose to not go to school, you will find that. That will be very clear. So the thing that bothers me when people come over and say, why can't you just empower your followers instead of drag other people down? First of all, the person that says that is usually not someone that likes or comments on a post that's empowering. I do that. But they don't show up for that. They only show up to put me in my place, right? So there's some school behavior, right? I do not go to other people's pages that are pro school and putting their first day of school pictures up. I do not go to their pages and post that little picture of the log going into the classroom. I don't do that. They come to Unschooling Mom2Mom, our one little sliver in the universe, our one little place where we can say, no, not us. They come over here and say that. So I just want to say, get back in your own lane. You're in my lane. And so if you feel like this is divisive, it's not as, that's a word you can use, but it's articulating reasons. Most of us would not choose this path if school was fine, right? So we have reasons we don't do school. Some of the reasons have a lot to do with conformity. So you're going to see memes about being anti-conformity. You're going to see memes about anti-top-down, teacher-driven approaches. You're going to see memes about embracing learning, embracing the child, embracing a different kind of life. And remember that when you look at it as divisive, or you look at it as somehow problematic, that's the lens you're looking through. I'm not saying y'all, but I'm saying other people. When people criticize you and they say that to you, you can think that's the lens you're looking through. You feel criticized. But my choice doesn't have anything to do with whether you choose it or not. Do you? I'm not coming over there saying, how could you choose that for your kids? I'm not doing that. My grandson, first day of school, today. And I will say, my daughter wrote to me and said, why'd you post that today? It's killing me. Because she's a radically unschooled kid, you know? I mean, she's 29. She's not a kid. I'm like, actually, they're all in a lineup and they just come out in August. This is just the thing we do. And, but again, it's the lens, right? She never noticed it before, but she notices it on the day that she has to take her kid to the portable building because they don't even have enough room, right? Okay. And I said, I'm still hopeful. Someday you might decide enough's enough. But that's a private conversation, right? And you can have private conversations too. But I want you to understand that Unschooling Mom2Mom is going to stand firm with the real reasons we make the choices that we make. And sometimes there'll be memes about it, sometimes thoughtful posts, sometimes podcasts, sometimes videos, all the things. And depending on the lens of the person that's coming to look, it may be well received or it may not. And that's okay too, because it's a meme. It's a meme. But when you hear those things about divisiveness, you are allowed to articulate the reasons you make the choices you make. Now, you may not choose to articulate it on your public Facebook page, but you're allowed to see it being articulated in an unschooling forum, right? I wouldn't go to a vegan forum and say, oh, a little chicken doesn't hurt, right? Or why are you being so divisive, being so anti-meat? I wouldn't go over there and do that. It's a choice, and people have their choices, and then they go to their little echo chamber. And you can have multiple echo chambers. This will be your echo chamber for unschooling. And And here in our group, we can have a little more, because certainly we have people in this group that I would say are really not unschooling yet. They're here because their goal is to embrace unschooling a little bit more. And I want to show them how. And I want to help them dismantle some of the obstacles that hop in. And but do I say, oh, I don't say anything mean? I'm not a mean person. I really just want you to connect with your kids. I really just want you to see that learning doesn't have to look like that. If your kid is like a shining star in the school and loves it and you love it, and okay, cool. I don't have to choose it. We don't have to all be in agreement. And I think that what we have to recognize when people say that is they're so bound to the concept of conformity. They can't stand for somebody else to rock the boat. They can't stand for somebody else to choose differently from them, because that makes them feel like, what, am I wrong? No, I mean, no, you decide. So I think that's my little rant about those kinds of things. So I don't know whether you're like, oh, Sue, you're going off the deep end or what. Oh, every year though, it's been like this every year since Facebook started, because I think I started the Facebook page about 2015, 14, something like that. And there's always been, how come you're so divisive? And yet those are the people that don't even speak up if I'm just saying some lovely, thoughtful parenting thing, but they speak up if they feel their choices are being criticized, right? So it's about the lens. I guess I just, not necessarily to defend my Unschooling Mom2Mom page. I don't need to do that. But I want you to understand when you hear people, when you say, oh, we love this, or, oh, I love that we don't have to blah, blah, blah. And somebody comes at you saying, why are you putting that in my face? That's about them. It's not about you. You're allowed to articulate your choices, And if you don't feel safe or comfortable enough to do it, you can come over to my stuff and articulate your choices. In the in the Creating Confidence group, in the Facebook group, it's private. Nobody can see it. So that's a nice, safe place to be. If someday you leave Creating Confidence, the Unschooling Mom2Mom Facebook group is not public. The page is, but the group is only the people that come in. If your Aunt Sarah decides to join the group, I won't know that and I'll let her in, but she probably won't. Okay, so there's a little bit about that. I want to share a few more memes with you that unschoolers have been sharing for a long time in other social media platforms. Subscribe to the channel for more support about how to unschool your kids. I even have a Not Back to School playlist here at YouTube for you to watch to get a little more encouragement and reassurance. Reach out if I can help you. Leave a comment below and I'll get you some more resources.